All right, so welcome Team Benefit to our team call for tonight. It is, as I always do, have to look at the calendar, Tuesday, January the 19th. And so that means we're like, what, 3 weeks into the year, and tons of momentum on our team, which I'm super excited about. And tonight we get to have our guest. I was trying to think, is it our first guest speaker of this year? I think it is. And one of our own. So she's sort of a guest from home, if you will. And that is our own Kendra Carey Cinnamon Copper. And we're thrilled that she will be sharing what is going well in her business and all sorts of, every time I talk to her, I'm like, can you wait and share that on the team call? So who knows what she'll actually tell us, because I feel like I've been piling that comment on her several times. And anyway, so I'm just thrilled to have one of our own coaches, you know, like training and sharing what's good and life lessons and all of the above. So if you have, just a couple quick announcements. If you have not registered for the Arrows of Hope retreat and you would like to attend that, please do so as soon as possible so we can start getting a head count for both space and food and things of that nature. And then Team Cup registration is open. I'm making a note right now to get my team registered. And then seems like there was one other like sort of major thing coming. Oh yeah, tomorrow, not tomorrow night, Thursday night is our story training, and there have already been some people on the team page commenting that they want to participate. So I need to go back and see if the spots are filled. If you have not done that Power of Your Story training, it's funny now. I'm getting like people coming to me saying, can I get on your calendar to have you do this for my team, which is really cool. Like kind of like the word is getting out that it's really effective and impactful. So of course you guys always come first on our team, and I want to make sure that each of you gets that training and that opportunity to go through those exercises and then be able to use those. So with that, I'm going to pass it right on over to you, Miss Kendra Carey.
Sure. All right. I don't know that I'm going to have anything mind-blowing or anything new, but I thought my focus would more so be on, because I know somebody was asking about how do you work a Facebook group. Some people don't know how to do that. And so I feel like that's one area that I have sort of mastered over the past year. I've been coaching for just over a year now, and I can sort of do some of the do's and don'ts and the how-tos on how to work a Facebook page, how to make new contacts through a Facebook page. So one of the things that I do and would suggest is when you sit down at your computer to work and do your thing on Facebook, first and foremost, I know you've heard it lots, but turn off your notifications. Those are really, really, really distracting. So when you're on Facebook, I've shut mine off, I've shut it down, but it can tell you who commented on whose page and all of that. Like it's like a running script. That's really distracting, and my brain can't handle that. So I've just shut that right off. I no longer have that on Facebook. And then I don't even pay attention to messages or notifications at that time. So I get really focused on the task, which is going into the Facebook group pages that I'm a part of and then working those. So how do you know which Facebook group pages to go into? You have to figure out what you're interested in, what your niche is. So for me, I'm a baby wearer. So I am in a baby wearing page. I am also in a swap page, which has just sort of found me. I didn't even really choose that as a really successful Facebook group page. That one just sort of found me, and I'll tell you how that happened. As well as somebody has added me to like an end all body shaming. So as I have worked different pages, group pages, I have sort of become the resident Beachbody coach, which should be part of your goal. So when you get into these pages and you start building relationships and you start connecting with people, you want to become the known Beachbody coach in those groups, because then people will know that I need to go to Kelly because Kelly knows a little bit about that Beachbody thing that I've heard about. So you really want to become the resident sort of Beachbody coach. So once you find your group and you find your niche, maybe you like gardening or you like cooking. For me, I'm all about not cooking. I don't like cooking. I'm terrible at it. So I am in some no cooking groups because that's me. So you'll find your group pages. And then what you want to do is you want to start to build relationships there. How do you do that? So how I have done that is when you first start, scroll through the posts and just comment. So comment on posts, comment on pictures, and start to become a familiar name within that group. So you sort of become somebody who posts daily or every second day, and then your name just automatically becomes familiar to people. It'll be like, oh yeah, Kelly posts daily and I recognize her name, and you'll start to build a little bit of some trust within the group because you'll be adding value in your comments. So when you comment on a post, you're going to want to add some value somehow. Another thing that you can do in those pages is to ask a question. So people love to give advice, and you can ask any kind of question. For me, I'm in a mom's group page, and I love to just throw out questions in those pages. And then what that does is that allows people to comment or to answer. And I will often then go back and pick out those names of people who said something relevant to me, and I will private message them. And I will say, hey, thanks for your comment on my question, and then take the conversation from there. So if it's a question about my 18-month-old having a rash, let's just say, for example, then I'll go back and say, hey, like, how long did it last? And did you use anything for it? And I've heard about this oatmeal bath thing. Have you tried it? So I'll just think of any sort of conversation starters with people, and then I'll private message them. And that gets the conversation going. And then that allows you to get to know them and them to get to know you. And then for me, I spend a lot of time with people at the beginning to build a relationship. And then by the end of the conversation, I am comfortable enough to ask them if I can add them as a friend. So I will say, I feel like through our conversation, you're somebody that I want to keep in touch with. Is it okay if I request you as a Facebook friend? And typically they'll say yes. The worst thing they can say is no or nothing. I've never had anybody say no, but I have had people just end the conversation there, and that's okay. They're not comfortable. So then what I do is continue to work the Facebook group page. And then as I post more and continue to build that relationship, we generally can build a relationship just through posting on the page. So those are some tips and tricks on that. Another thing that I like to do is comment on pictures. So if somebody's posted a picture, to me, that's an easy in. You private message them and say, hey, thanks for posting your picture. I really enjoyed seeing you carry your twins in a wrap. I don't know how you managed to do that. I'm not a good wrapper. And then I can take the conversation from there. So pictures are usually an easy conversation starter. I start with a compliment. So that's something that I've learned over time. Start with a compliment, end with a question, because that will generally get people to respond to you if you end in a question. So those are a few things there. A couple of things I can tell you about Facebook group pages don'ts. So this is my experience, which has been hilarious. And you hear it all the time. Don't do this. And I did it, and it didn't work. So I was new on an Edmonton Moms Facebook group page, and somebody popped up asking about the 21-day fix. This was a group that I had no reputation in. I was brand new in it. And I said, oh, that's me. I'm a Beachbody coach. I'd be more than happy to help you. Yeah, guess what? Tanked big time, not one response. Whereas on a page where I have built a relationship, I would have said, yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach. I'd be happy to help you. And I probably would have had 5 or 6 people private message me and ask me about the program. So when you're new to a group and you have no ground to stand on, don't out yourself as a Beachbody coach, because it can definitely work against you. If you feel like you want to touch base with that person, private message them rather than outing yourself in the group, because people sometimes will avoid you. So that is a big Facebook group page. Don't. If you don't have a relationship, you don't have people who know you, who trust you within that group, don't out yourself right away. And it's funny because I'm really proud to be a Beachbody coach, but people saw it as icky sales, and that's not it at all for the majority of us. So that's my big don't for a Facebook group page. Really spend the time with people and build relationships. One of the things that I do to work past fear, because this can be scary for people to start a group or to join a new Facebook group, is I will always ask myself, am I adding value? So am I able to add something here that can add value to people? And is this something that will move my business forward? So I am very concrete in my decision this year, because I don't make goals, I make decisions, because goals don't work for me. So I am very concrete in my decision this year to be a 2-star diamond. I really, really want that for myself and for my family. And so if I'm about to do something that makes me really, really scared and I don't want to do it, I will ask myself the question, is this moving your business forward? And if the answer is no, then I go and do it. So if it's an example of that is, what's a good example of that I could give you? Super Saturday. Super Saturdays here are okay. I love the Edmonton Market Council. They do a fantastic job. However, I felt like this one wouldn't necessarily be to my advantage, just because I had done some other stuff that I feel is more valuable at this point in time. So I thought, okay, I already don't want to go. Is that moving my business forward? No. I know I've got a couple people in mind where I'm like, I want to invite them to be coaches. I think I need to invite them to Super Saturday. So that is moving my business forward. So that's just an example of how I would do that, how I would ask myself that challenging question and then go ahead and do what I typically wouldn't want to do, but know that by not doing it, it won't move my business forward. Now, there was a question in the chat or a comment I'd like. Yeah. Yeah, I will say to that, Tracy, you're right. Like there's the swap page that I'm on is like 18,000 people. It's huge. It's huge. How I have done that, and that is the page that I am tagged in. So what I did there was I built solid relationships with people in that group. And I had a few clients in that group. And when I had those people as clients, I did everything possible to make them successful. If I had to, like, how many people did I have to build relationships with? 50. I have 50 clients in there. Yeah. That are actual clients that I have put into. So what I did there was I created their own special group that I coach, and I only coach them. So they are called the Swap Sisters Only Group. You have to be a Swap Sister to get into it. There's benefits of me being your coach to be in it. So once or twice a year, I will say, okay, if people want to save on shipping, we'll do a group thing, right? Because shipping here in Canada is $20. I don't know what it is in the States, but it's really high. So once or twice a year, I'll offer that. I will often use, I'm a local coach. So the advantages to a local coach are, if you run out of Shakeology, I'll give you some. So those are the kinds of things that I have done to move my business forward in that group. I've done a lot of stuff for free. And then the people that haven't come with me, I've still provided them with great service and advice, and they tag me as well. So never discount the people who aren't ready, because they will still tag you and they will still say, oh yeah, Kendra Copper knows a little bit about that Beachbody thing, or a lot about that Beachbody thing. So it's all about spending time and building relationships. Yes, you definitely want to know the rules of the Facebook group page that you're in. So for me in the Swap Sisters group, I can't promote myself. I am not allowed to promote myself at all. So and now people know I'm a Beachbody coach. So I can't post on those things. So this is where the benefit has come for me of spending time and getting the referrals, getting the tags, building the relationship, because people trust me because they know that I know something about it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I've sort of, in those groups, I've become the resident Beachbody coach. And there are lots of other coaches in there, guys. There are lots. It's not just me. It's not like I'm the only one. And you can spend a lot of time getting frustrated that there's other coaches in there who are, I'll get tagged. Somebody will say, in search of the 21-day fix program. And I will get tagged. That'll be the first comment, is Kendra Copper. And somebody will then say, PM sent. So I know that that coach has already contacted that person. So then what I'll do is private message them anyway and just say, hey, I'm just touching base because I was tagged in your post. Here's a little bit about me and my story. I need to know a little bit about you. What's your goal? Diving into all that, and let's see if this is a good fit for you. Because lots of times people will just pick the 21-day fix because it's the most common, but it doesn't mean it's the best fit. So it's spending that time with people. Does that make sense to people? Does anyone have any questions about how to work a Facebook group page, or how to find one, or challenges?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How long, when you say it takes time to build these relationships, are you talking roughly, like average?
For me, honestly, Kelly, I'll spend about a half an hour with people chatting to get to know them a bit. And then the key piece is, if you don't have that kind of time, that's okay. What you can do is by liking and just commenting. So if you get a few names, let's say, right, you've already started a conversation, you don't have a half an hour to spend with them, like their photos and comment on their photos, because they will then see your news feed quite a bit because you're touching base with them. So you're engaging with them and Facebook likes that. So they will start to see your news feed as long as you're Facebook friends. So if you can become a Facebook friend within that first little conversation piece, you're ahead of the game. But if not, that's okay too. There's lots of people out there that I'm not Facebook friends with right away because I don't feel like the conversation went that way. You'll get a feel for it.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I have a question, Kendra.
Yeah.
Say if I start liking and commenting on someone's stuff, and and it's a large group, so can I keep track of those names and search that group for what they're doing in that group?
Yeah.
I think you can, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other valuable piece is, if you're in a group where people are asking about a Beachbody program, you are just going to want to go up to the search Like every day I'm in my groups and I'm searching 21 Day Fix. I'm searching Shakeology. I'm searching PIO. Whatever program you see is generating interest within that group. Sometimes it's T25. Put it in the search bar. That's a great point, Dina, because all the posts that people have been asking about will come up. So that has worked to my advantage as well, because I have been getting tagged so often. I have had people then private message me saying, okay, I'm interested in this program and you are getting tagged all the time. So what do you know, right? You start to become a really familiar name. So that's a great point. You'll want to search for Beachbody programs within your groups, as long as it's irrelevant. If it's a mom's group or a swap page or, you know, something like that, you'll want to tag it. Gardening, probably not so much, but yeah.
But I would think even like a mom's group, like if you searched weight loss or something else food related, you might come up with something that would have a good conversation that might have a few names of people that you could start to at least be strategic in who you're going to build relationships with.
Yep. And that's a great point, because tonight in Edmonton Moms Group, there was a mom who posted about good ab exercises. She's got abdominal separation. I can relate to that. I had that. So I started a conversation with her. So that's a great point. Yeah. There was a question here. What do you do when a million other people have already commented on a post? I pick out names and I PM them. Just because they've commented on a post doesn't mean that they have private messaged people. Private message is one of the most powerful tools we have, for sure. Because and if you have like a 21 Day Fix program search, like somebody's looking for it or selling it, let's say somebody's selling a used copy, this is the best. If somebody's selling a used copy and all those people comment on it, next, please, for my sister, for my uncle, whatever, PM those people. And you can just say, hi, this is who I am. This is my story. I know you're looking for it. Does it need to be used, or are you open to new? So those kinds of questions. And then they'll let you know. If they're interested in the opportunity, they'll let you know. And if they're not, then lots of times people will say, oh, I'm interested in used. Do you have it? And I'll just say, no, I'm sorry. That's not what I do. But this is what I do, and this is how I can help. And let me know if you're interested. And because I've created something specific to that group, they often want into that other group because it's exclusive. And it really is exclusive, and it's special, and it's dear to my heart. So if you can create something like that to have an exclusive group just for members, it will be an advantage to any other Beachbody coach that is in that page. They probably don't have that, but you do. So that sets you apart, because now you've got something special just for those people. So that's kind of how I've worked that piece.
So if you're not friends with them yet on Facebook and you message them, they see the message?
It goes to message request, yeah. But because you're going to be a familiar name in the group, they will recognize your name, and chances are they'll accept it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they'll feel like they know you a little bit. So the chances are they'll accept your message request. Anyone else? No? We're good? Everybody feels like they know how to work a Facebook page, how to find them? Okay, I think we're good, Tracy. Hopefully I added value. Oh, good question. If I can say something about niches, this is kind of funny. Even though I'm part of an Edmonton baby wearers group, those people are not my target market. And the reason they're not my target market is because I've felt out the group a little bit, and those moms generally are spending money on their wraps. Okay, so they're like, baby wearers are a whole nother breed of people, and I'm one of them, so I can say it. But they generally will put their money into a new wrap for their kids, which is about $300 or $400, as opposed to a Beachbody program. So they are not necessarily my target market. So once you spend some time on the group, you'll be able to figure out if you want to target these people or not. And a lot of them are stay-at-home moms, so they don't make any money, right? Not that that's a huge deal, but they don't make money, so they don't want to spend money on a fitness program for themselves. They want to, what they do get from EI, they want to spend on a $500 wrap. So Disney is good. Oh, foodies would be good. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Christy. Breastfeeding and pumping for sure. That's huge. And Shakeology is safe for that. So some people I know are on pages about dogs because they're dog people. I don't have a dog. I'm allergic to dogs. I feel sad for myself. But pets in general, just whatever is you. And that can change. I remember when I first started, I did a diabetes page because I had gestational diabetes. And then I phased out of that group because it wasn't relevant to me anymore. And I didn't feel like I could add value anymore. The bulldog page is perfect for Dina. I love seeing Dina's posts about her bulldog.
Awesome.
Lacey has a really good question, Tracy.
Oh.
About she's in a Husky Malamute group. How do you go from talking about dogs to Beachbody? Do you want to address that one?
Well, you're the resident expert, not me.
I wish. Okay, so how I would flip the conversation is I wouldn't mention Beachbody at all in the first few conversations. But then as you get to talk to them about their dog and your dog and, things that you have in common, or if you've got a question about this particular breed of dogs, you can ask them about it because, again, people like to give advice. And then I would say something like, what else do you do for fun? Where do you walk your dog? What do you do for exercise with your dog? Because to me, a Husky Malamute signals big dog, and these dogs probably have to be run or walked. So I would say something along the lines of, where do you walk your dog? Do you guys have dog parks? I'm sure you guys have dog parks. Yeah, so you could talk about dog parks. But flip it that way in terms of starting to change it from just the dog over to exercise with the dog. And then from exercise with the dog to, hey, I really love getting out with my dog and doing these dog parks and walking with my dog, but now I'm thinking about like a weight program. You could fit in Master's Hammer and Chisel or whatever exercise program you're doing. And usually people will say like, yeah, me too. I've been thinking about some type of exercise other than this, or my nutrition isn't great. So you can always start conversations that way, but it has to be slow and gradual. Don't hit them up with the exercise questions right away. I wouldn't anyway. That would be a Facebook group page. Don't. And then Kelly, you were saying essential oils is great because you can lead essential oils into healthy living, right? Dog food, yeah. Garage sale sites are great. Hello Fitness. Aw. How do you find the sites? You have to know what is relevant to your life. So whatever you are going through right now, whether you're a mom or you're a gardener or you like cooking or not cooking, those are things that make you you, where you'll be able to add value within the group. So you want to think about what's relevant to you. And then you can search if you need more specific, like you can search the group in the Facebook search bar.
I'm just going to ask the question because it takes me way too long to type this out on my iPad. Okay, so I just typed in essential oils in the search bar, and there are like 3 groups came up, 4, 5. They have like 98,000 people talking about this. That's just talking about this. Okay. So that's different than actual people in the group, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
And make sure you read the rules. When you start a new group, read the rules, because some rules are that you're not allowed to PM people. So if that's it, you don't like, to me, that group doesn't hold value for me.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, if you go, because I have a friend who does like Young Living, is that what it's called? Oils. And so, you know, they're doing the same thing we are. You know, they're a network marketing business, so you don't want to go into one of their groups and try to promote your business within their group.
You could, but I wouldn't do it if it was your friend. Like, I wouldn't join your friend's group. I would join maybe another group, because you can always take the conversation from essential oils and healthy living to Shakeology and healthy living. Like, to me, if it's another health related thing, there is a common thread there, because Shakeology is pure and natural foods. Young Living is about pure and natural essential oils that help you to gain immunity and strength and all those things, right? So to me, there's a common thread there that it might be easy to tie together. I wouldn't do it if it was a friend's group, maybe. That's up to you, though.
Yeah, because I had a little bit of a problem with a friend who they're doing the Thrive thing, you know, and then, you know, I had posted something, and then she came into my group, and it was almost like she was promoting her Thrive business on, you know, what the comments on something I had posted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't think that's what Kendra is saying, though. I
get what she's saying.
I think you're both right here.
Yeah.
Because Thrive is a direct competition to the products that, you know, of what Shakeology is, where essential oils really aren't. I mean, I think some companies offer a shake or something, but the oils themselves, like I've got mine lined up here, that doesn't impact what I do as a Beachbody coach.
Right.
Yeah, and Kelly, I've had that happen too. I've got a girlfriend who does Thrive and posts on my stuff too about, oh, you should try this freeze-dried potato thing. And I'm just like, no thanks. Like, I'll just comment, no thanks. I do my thing, right? So you can just shut it down really quick or delete the comment. It's your page.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Good stuff. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one quick question for Kendra. Are you getting most of your people then from being on these group pages?
Yeah. Yeah. I have very few friends and family and coworkers. It is all people who I don't know and have built relationships with through Facebook. And one thing that I will say that I have done is I have hosted an event for this group in particular. So I have created a niche for these guys, their own special inclusive club, and that has really done huge things for my business, and I have hosted thank you parties for them. Anytime I'm tagged on a post, guys, I PM the person and say, thanks for the shout out on the swap page. I really appreciate it. If they do it a lot, they get a gift card from me. They get like a $5 coffee Starbucks gift card just as a thank you. And it has kept, like, I've been doing this over a year now, and I'm still consistently being tagged on posts, which is amazing. But it's through building relationships. So put the time in at the beginning, and don't discount the people that say no because they're not ready right now. They will still find value in you, and they will come to you when they're ready, and they will refer people to you. That's because you are a secret agent. Dina. So yeah, that's it. Like, that's all I got. I hope that people have learned something and can take it and put it into practice.
Well, and just as we wrap up, and you referred to it, but I remember talking to you back when you were first starting to do that. And this girl spent a lot of time talking to people without seeing any results. You know what I mean? Like, it took time for that to come to fruition, and it's been worth it, just like anything in this Beachbody business. As we know, like, there are going to be a lot of times where you feel like you're putting in so many hours adding value to people and you're not seeing anything from it. That goes, like, it's across the board. No matter what angle that you work, it's a common denominator of a ton of time and hard work putting in adding value to people who are going to end up, like I found out today, had one girl, I'm ready. Oh, check it out. I'm now a real estate agent, and I joined, I don't even know what the name is, like Jeunesse, and it's some, like, competitor company. Like, I posted, congratulations, like, okay, no wonder you didn't respond to me. I'm like, what happened to you? So people have different things going on in their lives, and I have to be okay adding value to people without expecting anything in return. And Kendra, Carrie, Copper, Cinnamon did that a lot, and now it's paid off for her. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. Like, it's not a secret. If you're like doing this for a couple days, you're like, I'm not getting anywhere with this. Well, yeah, you got to keep pushing forward. So anyway, thank you so much. Virtual high five from me and everybody else, I'm sure. And thanks for preparing for this, taking the time to do that, and for going out of your comfort zone to lead a call. And we appreciate you. So. All right. Well, now I will stop the recording.